The STL Hockey Fan Podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to give you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media. Dogtown Pizza. If you haven't had a Dogtown Pizza, you are absolutely missing out. There is nothing better than coming home from work or school or wherever you're stuck at for the day, throwing a Dogtown Pizza into the oven for pretty much no time at all, and enjoying that St. Louis-style greatness. With selections like a classic pepperoni, the 4-meat, the deluxe, and the veggie, there's a perfect pizza for everyone. The best part is knowing you're supporting a local St. Louis business and family. Dogtown Pizza has partnered with our beloved Blues, but also with other prominent St. Louis figures like Steve's Hot Dogs. And it's run by the Shaper family, St. Louisans through and through with a decade in the business. My family and I had 2 of these bad boys today in preparation for this, and they turned out incredible. Just look at that cheese. Bottom line, if you're looking for a pizza you'll love, from a local company you can trust, run by a family you can relate to, go to dogtownpizza.com, find a store near you, and go get one. Thanks again to Dogtown Pizza for sponsoring this podcast. Let's go get a pizza, and let's go Blues. Welcome, everybody, to the STL Hockey Fan Podcast. I am your host, Corey. This is your co-host, Jesse, and hello. We have a ton to talk about. So first things first, Olympics. And I don't mean like anything specific. The Olympics as a whole is incredibly fun and entertaining, for me at least. I don't know about you, but I have watched a ton of stuff. I just got done watching some bobsled. I've been waiting for that. Luge is insane. I found this apparently new sport to the Olympics, dual mogul, where they are skiing down a hill, a bunch of little bumps, and when I first watched it, I was like, this is going to be, just how fast can you get down the hill? Cool. But in the middle of it, there's a ramp, and they both just do crazy like backflips and axles and whatever the hell you want to call them. And then whenever it got to the bottom, they had to do another one. But before they got to it, one guy just ate it. Like at the highest speed, I can only imagine. This hill is so steep. Like just this kind of stuff, I don't know, it gets me fired up, man.
Oh no, same here. And it's been on TV, my television, like since it started.
Yeah.
So if it's nothing in particular that we want to watch, it's on there. So definitely, I just wrapped up the bobsled stuff too. Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a great display of athleticism in general, not just the hockey, right? So it's interesting because we don't watch these sports on a regular basis, but they occur on all levels, all around us at all times. They just had the national one in St. Louis before this Olympic one wasn't, I believe, for the figure skating at least.
Oh, nice. So, I didn't know that. That's the thing. Is like I feel like it's not so readily available to everybody. As much as you're going to find like football or basketball. So whenever I watch these things, I stay on it as much as I can because I know I'm going to see probably history being made in some sort. I'm going to see something incredible like I did with the dual moguls. Like I was audibly like gasping and freaking out because I didn't know what was coming next. But along with all of this comes, honestly, the most exciting part for us, I feel, is the hockey. So on the men's side, we currently have the U.S., Canada, Slovakia, and Finland all in the quarterfinals, and U.S. and Canada are actually undefeated. Now, granted, that's 3 games, but yeah. I mean, that's more than the Blues can get right now. So let's look at that in perspective. So these guys have already punched their way, and obviously, we don't have anybody on U.S. or Finland, but we do have Bennington and Parayko for Canada and Dvorsky for Slovakia. And Dvorsky is kind of, other than, what's the guy's name, Slavkovsky?
Yeah.
Other than him, I feel like Dvorsky is really like...
No, yeah.
Like he's really what's the word? He's blossomed.
He's making a name for himself internationally right now. Yeah.
He's getting some great celly shots. Like the pictures that are coming out. Like I don't know, it's incredible.
Yeah.
But so he's doing amazing. The way that their last game, I believe, against Sweden went was really weird, right? Because like Sweden's up, I believe it's 5-2 in the third, and then Slovakia gets a goal, so that puts them at 5-3. But like they basically act like it was an OT winner for that game. You know what I mean? Because they got the goal differential, so they got to go immediately to the quarterfinals. It's just so weird to see the loser of a game celebrating,
yeah,
like, so intensely.
Well, no, and I guess if you're just chasing points, that's what it comes down to, right? You win, lose, draw, it's whatever, as long as you get the required amount of points.
Right. Yeah, and speaking of points, France and Italy, nothing.
Yeah.
Winless. So if you ask me, I'm pretty sure we have one guy, like one NHLer, and that is Alex Texier. Is there anybody on Italy that we know?
There's not. I've done checked it. There's nobody. Yeah.
So like we can assume that it would have gone this way. You know what I mean? With all of the firepower from the NHL that are in these competitions. And obviously you have, Bennington with Canada just shutting people down now. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But I believe France and Italy, they're going to play in these, help me out, qualification round to face one of those four teams in the quarterfinals. So like, do you think you see the best game from France or Italy coming up on Tuesday?
No, I don't. I probably see a bunch of the same. France put up a physical fight against the United States there.
Yeah.
So we can get into that. Or
Canada.
No, was it? Yeah, Canada. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're going to have to chop that up. But yeah, they got physical with that. So I don't know. France and Italy, it's not good either way.
No, I will say, when you look at the other teams, which is, Germany will go up against France. Germany, I believe they're 2-1. Is that right?
I believe so.
That's right. Switzerland, Italy, and Switzerland should be either 2-1 or 1-2. It's going to be one of those. And then you have Czechia versus Denmark and Sweden versus Latvia. So Sweden, I mean, that's our boy. That's Broberg trying to make it in there, as well as Switzerland with Pius Suter. So we've got some boys in on the battle. But do we see? I feel like we're already on the course of Germany's going to take France. Right. Switzerland takes Italy. So Czechia and Denmark, Sweden and Latvia. What do you think? And I know like we're probably not well versed in this roster and what's happened, but just spitball, give me some.
But just what we've seen, yeah.
Yeah.
The Chechnya versus Denmark, that one's interesting. At least it might be competitive. That's what I was saying to somebody the other night. I was like, some of these games are just boring just because these total blowouts, and you're like, yes, it's exciting, but after a little bit, it just gets, a little old. Well, that type story where you got everything you need. It just gets a little old.
Well, like if you ask me the Canada game, let's real quick, give me your Sweden and Latvia. I'm going Broberg, yeah?
Yeah, definitely go Sweden.
So, okay. I definitely want to get to the Canada France game. So whenever you're talking about you get all you need in one, big bunch, that's kind of what happened there. So whenever I started watching the game, I realized about mid first period that it was on. I turn it on, I'm watching, goes to an intermission, goes to the second period, and honestly, I'm not realizing I'm seeing that it's 6-2, and I'm like, man, they're going to win this game 6-2. That's crazy. And then I look at the thing and zeros, and it's second period, and I'm like, they have an entire other period, and France is, I mean, come on. I don't know how many shots Bennington had to face in that. It was not a lot. I would say probably around 6 or 7. I'd probably go that route. It was not a lot, which is probably why Bennington gave up 2 goals. I know you said one of them went off of Parayko. I didn't see it in the highlight.
Just a miss. It was a missed communication pass on his point.
Speaking of a miscommunication, did you see the U.S. game where I don't know who it was who collided.
Oh yeah.
It was just two guys like in their own zone. I'm pretty sure everybody else is on a change and they just run into each other.
Yeah.
Like I saw a meme where it basically just shows them hitting and it says nobody within 40 feet of them.
Right. That's hilarious. No, yeah, I caught that moment live as well.
Nice.
I mean, you got to keep your head on a swivel, I guess, right? But
even around your own.
Yeah.
So
no, that was good stuff.
In that Canada game, Tom Wilson fights apparently for the first time since 1988.
Right, and that's the word "fight" is used pretty loosely here.
Yes.
Yeah,
agreed. Because it just looks like they took turns. Francis guy just yanks him down, and then whenever Tom Wilson gets up, he yanks him down, and that's pretty much the extent of it. It's just the reason they call it a fight. They weren't wearing gloves, and that's pretty much you drop the gloves. That's it.
Exactly.
So as of now, the result of that is that, and I apologize not doing my due diligence and knowing this guy's name, but France's player, they got suspended, like banned from the rest of these 2026 Olympics, which sucks because they've got like another couple of games to play.
Yeah.
And Tom Wilson just got the penalties within the games.
Wow.
Right? And they pretty much did the same thing, but they said that France's player, that he his intent or whatever went against Olympic values, something like that.
Right. And even though they didn't exchange actual punches with each other, the shoving to the ground thing, I believe that's the fighting they do in IHF. So it's not like a full on physical assault of the guy. It's grab him, control the situation type deal. So I guess maybe that's where he did that and shoved Wilson down. But that seems a bit unfair as far as the penalties,
Yeah, I agree. Now, I know there was the whole thing was a result of a cheap shot to, was it McKinnon?
Yeah, it was McKinnon. Yeah.
So, I don't know what happens after that. I don't know if it's directly after that they kind of get in a little tussle and then it's just pulling each other down in front of the net and then a bunch of barking and then ejections. So,
right.
But the first fight since 1988, that's really surprising to me. I figured there would have been one at least in Olympics.
Right.
So I actually tried to look it up, and there was basically a brawl in 1987, and I think it was between U.S. and USSR. But I didn't see anything in 1988. It said that there was nothing of significant value, and I'm like, okay, Google.
Right.
But no, that's a pretty long time, within the Winter Olympics to not have a fight. There's so much fire, there's so much intensity to these games.
Right.
And it never boils over to that extent. That's wild.
Right, but by the numbers, since '88, how many Winter Olympics have we had, and then how many NHL players have played in those Olympics? Because this is their first time since 2012, and even that time period alone takes a chunk out of that timeline, right? So
that is fair. That is fair. But still, I would think there'd be more within just these games we're having now.
Oh, I agree. I figured there'd be more fights than not.
Right. It's insane. So moving on to more hockey, Team USA Women's are also undefeated. So they have played 6 games and they have scored 5 or more goals. And in only one of those games did they give up a goal. 1 goal. It's unheard of, it seems. So
that's ridiculous.
And it's already determined right now. They're playing Canada in the gold medal game. That is a must watch.
Yeah, I think Canada has pretty good odds of getting to the airport first.
Right.
Because they're going to be out of the arena and packed and gone.
Because they've already had this game. They played earlier, and again, I almost said the Blues. Again, Team USA dominates.
They had the big Jordan Binnington 5-0 on that game. So,
I don't know if the very last game they just like roll over and die. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. Yeah.
I'm so excited to see that one, but more than that, I'm really excited. Sorry, women, to see if any of these Blues players get a gold, and if they do, what kind of like impact does that have on the team for the last 25 games that they'll play?
Right.
Honestly, you know, we've seen it before last year with them coming back from Four Nations and you know, going on a 12 game stunner and all this stuff. But can you bank or rely on something like that to happen every time there's like a, you know, a big competition within like the NHL?
Are you speaking about just Bennington in general, or
Just any type
any
of
Blues
like
player?
momentum coming back to shift.
Oh, coming
things.
back, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at Dvorsky there. Hopefully that comes back with him. I know he's surrounded by, you know, his countrymen and all that stuff. He has probably good leadership on the team.
Right.
There's probably less of a language barrier if there is one on the Blues. I'm not certain about that. Either way, bring that momentum back. And Bennington has already, you know, he didn't get his second shutout, but he looked pretty clean in the pipes on that last game. So,
yeah, you would almost think that it's harder to do what he's doing right now because, like, obviously, like you can spend all game like he would with the Blues just getting
swimming
shots. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he like is constantly cold in these games pretty much because, you know, you've got McDavid and McCarr and McKinnon, all these guys just like hemming the other team in their zones. So he's just sitting back there waiting for the one shot that's going to come during that period and hope that it's not a like one from the line.
Yeah, didn't Swayman got beat by the line on that shot.
Yeah, and he's getting some hate for that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can kind of understand, like, if you look at the, you know, the video of it, where the puck goes, like, it blends in with what's going on, like, behind the glass. And so you lose it. Now,
Gotcha.
am I an NHL goalie that's had the training of just knowing if you lose it, what do you do?
Right.
No, but I don't know. I feel like if I can't do it, I'm not going to fault that guy. But that's just that's a rough thing. You get one goal on you, and then you like now you're getting hate. You're getting the like you need to put somebody else in type situation around you. And then who's the guy behind that? Would that be Hellebuck?
Yeah, I mean Hellebuck is their starter, so I think they'll ride him for the rest of the tournament here, for sure.
Yeah, and I wonder who they will play. I want to know who was it. Let me get my little poster up. Like out of who?
Sweden and Latvia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. So Latvia, what NHLers do they have?
Let's see. I think they had a couple. Latvia roster. One of Pittsburgh Penguins goalies. So there's one guy there.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have a total of 6 players.
In the NHL?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so and then Sweden, I feel like Sweden is all NHL.
It's 100%, yeah.
Yeah. So I just wonder, like, let's think about Hellebuck real quick. That's kind of where I'm going with all this. You get him in a playoff situation. Apparently, he doesn't, you know, do the job. So you put him in, you know, in the last game to get to the gold medal game. You know what I mean? Against, let's just say Sweden. How do you think that goes? Do you think he keeps up with his, you know, playoff failures, or do you think he pulls one out?
I think he'd pull one out. I think it's a different game. You're playing for your country at that point. Maybe it's a different level in his mind. So either that or because it's not a series of 7 either. So that's one thing that you got to consider is that he's not facing those same guys night after night after night. So that would give him an edge, I believe, because then it's not the same guys watching his tape or playing against him.
Right. Well, and plus, who does he got in front of him other than, you know, the obvious? He's got, you know, the Kachucks and Quinn Hughes or the other Hughes. Like he's got stars in front of him. Now, granted, like over in Winnipeg, sure, he's got like what Shifley, Connor, guys like that, but I think it's kind of the same situation as Bennington to kind of come full circle with it. Bennington on a not or on an underperforming NHL team plays for one of the best in the national teams. So same thing for Hellebuck. He's playing with Winnipeg, a not so great team right now, and you put him behind stars in the national perspective, and he'll kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, it's a goalie's as good as their defenseman, I guess, is what it boils down to. But you're not wrong as far as going back to standing there for half a period. Yeah, you're definitely going to get cold, and you want more activity almost. But yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I know if I went out there and tried to play, for one, personally, I hate the cold at all. And I know it's more of a figurative cold, but if you're just literally standing there on ice, I'm not going to be able to move once the guys get up there anyways, so I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So I would say, to wrap this thing up, who do you think comes out of all of that with gold? I have my answer, but I'll let you go first.
Team Canada is looking pretty good too, just all around as well. America seemed to struggle getting some goals in the other day, even though once they started, they stacked up.
Yeah,
but
it rains, it pours. Yeah.
Yeah, but it took a little bit. There was a game there against, what was it, Latvia, I believe? Or no, was that the Denmark game?
Whichever. Sorry.
Yeah. But regardless, they've had the easier opponents between that and Canada's smashed the other guys. So, that's not just my preference, but I think that they are the betting favorite as well. I'm not sure.
I would have to agree with that. Again, for me, I'm torn because I definitely want, the U.S. to win. That's just, me representing, I guess, where I'm from, all that stuff. The
Patriot. Yep.
Right. But I want to see Bennington come back, even forgetting about Parayko. I want to see Bennington come back with confidence and just run through these 25 games with Hofer and somehow, by a miracle, make it to these playoffs. Now, again, I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's the trajectory I'm trying to get to. So I'm going to say it's probably going to be Canada, because if, history it's proven anything, Bennington will hopefully show up in crazy fashion, making ridiculous saves to take these guys to gold and then take us to the playoffs. Not even a cup, just get us to the playoffs.
I wonder what it's going to take for that guy to drop the hopefully from his name when it comes to that sentence, because he has proven himself. He shows up in these big games, but then I guess it's just the regular season that really changes people's opinions about him, because it's consistency, right?
Yeah, and that's what it is for me. It is the inconsistency. One of the goals that he let up in the last game was one from the line. It was just a guy coming in on a rush, and it was just a shot, and it looked like one of those soft ones that we see in a Blues game. So if I can still see that, then it's still there. And I get, every goalie is going to have their thing. They're not going to block every single, they're not going to make every save. But that's a consistency. That's a thing that we see quite a bit. So I don't know, seeing it pop up here, that's where the hopefully comes from, for sure.
Right. Yeah. And I just wish, for his sake and his legacy, if he believes in one of those things, that it's not a story of hopefully, because he won't be playing in the next Olympics. And I mean, reality is he has one more year left with us, and then where does he go to after that? Right. So this is, probably peak Jordan Binnington, I believe, if not the past couple of years have been.
Right. You hope peak is not in the rear view.
Right.
You hope we're not at the slope. But we will, find out all of this tomorrow, Tuesday.
Yep.
Where the qualification round starts. So Everybody turn that stuff on, have it going, whether it's in the background or whatever, just pay attention because this is going to be massive. Dogtown Pizza. If you haven't had a Dogtown Pizza, you are absolutely missing out. There is nothing better than coming home from work or school or wherever you're stuck at for the day, throwing a Dogtown Pizza into the oven for pretty much no time at all, and enjoying that St. Louis style greatness. With selections like a classic pepperoni, the 4 meat, the deluxe, and the veggie, there's a perfect pizza for everyone. The best part is knowing you're supporting a local St. Louis business and family. Dogtown Pizza has partnered with our beloved Blues, but also with other prominent St. Louis figures like Steve's Hot Dogs. And it's run by the Shaper family, St. Louisans through and through with a decade in the business. My family and I had 2 of these bad boys today in preparation for this, and they turned out incredible. Just look at that cheese. Bottom line, if you're looking for a pizza you'll love, from a local company you can trust, run by a family you can relate to, go to dogtownpizza.com, find a store near you, and go get one. Thanks again to Dogtown Pizza for sponsoring this podcast. Let's go get a pizza, and let's go Blues. The STL Hockey Fan Podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to give you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.